Hey guys, welcome into another edition of the Coach's Corner Show presented by PES Playoff Edition here. Wade Neely alongside Bobcats head coach David O'Connor. First things first, Coach. Bobcats go on the road, opening round of the playoff. Congrats on a big win, 42-14 last week at Hickson.
Really nice win at Hickson. I thought it may be our most complete game as a team, offense, defense, and special teams.
Big time win for the Bobcats. How did the process go? 2 weeks ago in the regular season, you made the trip to Chattanooga. You said that was kind of a preview for the postseason. How did things go kind of outside the field of play last week?
It went really well. It was maybe as smooth a trip as I've ever had with a team. Our guys were really focused from the time we got on the bus to the time we finished the game. Really, it was just a really nice, complete day of football. Dominating
win for the Bobcats. You go back, you watch the tape. What were you most excited about? We'll get into some numbers here in just a second, but overall, what were you most pleased with about your performance?
The energy of our defense. I felt like our defense came out and played lights out pretty much the whole night, and probably laying the wood is as good as they have all year.
We talked a lot about the offensive line potentially for Hickson being a big key. Did you challenge your defensive line, your linebackers, because it sounds like those guys stepped up last week?
Yeah, we really did, and we played without our big defensive tackle, D. McElroy, and we had some guys stepped in. Jay Pilot and Kanai White both stepped in and played really well, and then Key McDonald, I mean, he was bringing it pretty good in the middle.
Heard some folks in the community say maybe his best performance as a Bobcat. How would you grade number 10's play last week?
By far his best performance, just overall from kickoff to the final horn. You know, he was pretty much on point all night.
Dominating performance on the defensive end. Let's talk offensively. The Bobcats continue to put up big numbers. Another 300-plus yard performance from John. John Bacchus throwing now 4 touchdowns. How did you grade your quarterback's play last week?
He had another really good game. Of course, and we were in the pass game. We were without Peyton Hall, one of our big play receivers. But KJ Ziegler had maybe his finest performance of the year. So we had good games, and more importantly, Arkell Reed run the football like a grown man the other night, and it was really special.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about Arkell. 200 yards in the regular season finale against Tullahoma. He almost broke 200 again last week. Has anything changed with him, or is he just kind of getting in that postseason grind?
Postseason grind. He's picked his level of football up and trying to drag the rest of the team with him. Because his energy and his movement with the football is really good. You know, not only has he run for well over 1,000 yards, but he's caught passes for almost 500.
Have you noticed anything in the mental mindset, anybody else in the team kind of noticing, hey, Arkell, he's really kind of clicking right now for us?
I got a feeling the whole team kind of leads or follows the way he's leading us right there, and he's doing a really good job.
Since we're talking about the run game, offensive line, Cats have had a couple guys, they've been moving around throughout the season, but we're kind of getting dialed in now that we're in the postseason. The Hog Mollies up front, how those guys looking last week?
I had another good game. Did a really good job protecting the quarterback. Had a pretty, nice, clean pockets to throw out of. And of course, the running game kind of speaks for itself. Arkell can't do all that by himself, and he does some special things. But Jared Roberts, Drew Hawk, those guys up front, Brighton Westmoreland, they did a really good job.
Game flow, you said last week that the Cats, you'd like to obviously get to be able to run the ball. You certainly did that last week, but you also didn't want to throw every down, but you did account for some good passing yards as well. How did the game flow work for you guys last week, script-wise?
Really well. Pretty much stayed on script, on schedule the whole night. Never really put ourselves behind the chains. Probably had one of the freakiest plays I've seen in a high school football game. First play of a game. Now, we run we kind of roll, semi-roll to the right. We're going to throw a screen back to KJ. Big Murph don't do quite a good job of getting there on time. So as KJ's getting tackled, he pitches the ball to Murph. Murphy catches and goes running up the sideline. And about the time they hit him, he pitches it out of bounds. That's about the craziest thing I've seen.
So any chance we're going to see a repeat of that in the playbook this week?
Well, we're not going to run the hitch and ladder again this week, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, maybe out of necessity more than design, I guess.
Exactly right.
Final thoughts let's on the offense here. What were you most impressed with as far as, let's go into KJ, I guess. KJ Ziegler, how impressive was his 3-touchdown performance? We'll talk more about Marshall County later, but his confidence, it's got to be at an all-time high right now.
It is. I think he's up to about 11 or 12 touchdowns on the year, and that's pretty good for a sophomore. And he made one of the finest catches I've seen the other night. He kind of stumbled before the catch and made laid out almost parallel with the ground and caught one at the end zone. Maybe just inside because that was his 3rd touchdown.
Was that a challenge to him last week, knowing that Peyton's out saying, hey, we need you to step up in the passing game?
I don't think so. I think that's just, over the last 3 or 4 weeks, or really since the last time we played Marshall County, he struggled a little bit in that game. He's picked his level of play up a little bit every week since then. and we had a little chat with him this week. Last time they kind of got you a little bit. He says, "Yeah, but I'm a different player now, Coach."
Secondary guys, as far as the passing game, I guess goes Tyler Barnett, Knox Birdsong, some of those guys. How critical are their roles going to be as we continue this postseason push?
It's going to be big. And the other night with those two, we added Tanner Holly. We added him to the play. He played both ways then and done a really good job. He made a couple nice catches himself. I think he had 6 catches.
Wearing number 6 as well. So how much will we see him continue to get involved? He's one of those guys that we know can play both ways, but you maybe don't want to burn him out during the regular season.
That's right, and he started playing a little bit more both ways. A lot of that's going to depend on how Peyton comes back from his ankle injury, and then how Coach Flippo does a really good job of moving personnel around, how he decides to move personnel around to try to get favorable situations during the game, so to speak.
We're filming this on a Wednesday. What is the latest on Peyton that you can divulge, I guess?
Well, he practiced and went through full practice, offensive practice yesterday. He's still a little gimp in his run. He's not 100%. I'd say he's probably somewhere closer to 80.
Going back now to the defense, you talked to Coach Haynes, the defense coordinator for Bobcats. What was he most impressed with about that unit's performance? Again, their most complete game of the season.
Oh, he was most impressed just with all the guys, didn't get down, stayed up, played with so much energy, and rallied to the football. We were running from everywhere getting to the football. It was by far our best performance.
Finally, third phase of the game, we talk about it a lot. Special teams. Any noteworthy performances last week for the Bobcats in that unit?
John had one really good punt. We got to where we line up in a trips formation and we'll spread out. And if they sink out there to return a punt, we're probably going to throw the football or run the football or something. Of course, they didn't, and John punched over their head, and we get a good roll. He's probably getting about 50 yards a punt on his punts this year.
Good net.
That's right, exactly right. And then our kickoff team was really good. I thought we probably gave our defense the best starting field position we've have all year.
It was over an hour and a half, close to 2.5 hour bus ride. We're going a little closer this week, but still on the road as we go to round 2 for the playoffs.
That's exactly right. We're excited about just the second opportunity.
Good deal. Coach, stick around. I got a feeling we got a lot to chat about as the Bobcats, they take on, what's that school's name up in Lewisburg?
It slips my mind.
Okay. I think we may be able to remember the name of the guys that the Cats are playing. Either way, it's a big postseason game, and we'll break down the second round matchup for the Bobcats on the other side of this timeout right here on the Coach's Corner Show presented by PES.
In 2012, enough prescriptions were written for opioid pain medication for every American adult to have their own bottle of pills. 1 in 4 non-cancer related users struggles with addiction. Physical therapy is a safe and effective alternative to opioids for long-term pain management. Choose the safer way to manage pain. To learn how physical therapy can be an alternative for pain management, contact Benchmark Physical Therapy to schedule a consultation.
This is the circuit courtroom of the Giles County Courthouse. Every day, important decisions are made affecting people's rights and privileges. When you are in need of legal services, please allow the experienced lawyers of Andrew Hoover and Attorneys to assist you in every step.
I'm Andy Hoover. For your free initial consultation, please feel free to call our firm or visit our website. We're here to help.
Here in Tennessee, when opportunity knocks,
First Farmers is here.
a full-service bank with deep roots,
First Farmers is here.
loans to help businesses grow, and families plan for the future.
First Farmers is here.
The technology you need to manage your personal finances.
First Farmers is here.
As Middle Tennessee continues to grow, First Farmers, we're here.
Have you been thinking about getting back in shape? Or maybe you're an avid exerciser looking for something different. Come check us out at P-Town Strength and Fitness, where we offer a wide variety of functional movements, systematically programmed to help you get started and maximize your physical potential. Enjoy the sense of community, camaraderie, and teamwork in our one-of-a-kind group setting that will assist you in your quest for physical well-being. For more information, check us out on Facebook at P-Town Strength and Fitness or stop by at 200 East Jefferson Street in Pulaski.
I've got my closest friends over to watch the game on cable. Did you know you can advertise your local business during this cable program? Via Media represents the advertising for your cable system. They could put a TV commercial for you right here on this system during this show. Let Via Media help you. Call Via Media today or viamediatv.com.
Hey guys, welcome back. Second half of the Coach's Corner Show presented by PES. This is mid-November, so Coach, I'm rocking the mustache.
No Shave November.
No Shave November for some as well. This does re-air sometimes throughout the fall, so a lot of folks were curious last year about the facial hair. But let's dive in. Second round of the playoffs. Bobcats, what a dream matchup. They get the chance to avenge a regular season loss. Got to go to Marshall County Friday night.
I don't know about a dream now because they've got a really good football team, but now as far as wanting to have an opportunity to rematch, see how we stack up, our guys for sure want that.
The region, real quickly before we get into the matchup against Marshall County, I guess backtrack a little bit. Region 4-4A, how about the performances last week? Top to bottom, every seed wins, including number 4 seed Spring Hill going on the road and beating Stone Memorial, a team that was undefeated.
That's exactly right. I think we play in a really good region, and our brand of football here is really good, and when we go play outside of our region in our classification, it just shows we play really well. And
the teams that were in Region 4-4A, they all get together again now here in the postseason as Spring Hill takes on Page this week, but the Cats take on Marshall County, go all the way back to September. What do you remember about that game? The final score got a little lopsided towards the end, but the Cats were right there in it against previously unbeaten Marshall County at the time.
That's right. We did some really good things early in the game, and all the way up through the middle of the third quarter. I feel like they got a little bit of a lead, and of course, you know how it is once you get a little bit of a lead, a lot of pressure comes off of you. They were able to relax and play, and our kids, we just had some difficulty at that time.
We had a couple miscues in that game, but the Cats last week had maybe their best performance of the season. How critical was it to kind of fire on all cylinders last week to get that confidence back for this week?
It was really big. Our guys should be ready to roll this week. I know they're excited about playing Marshall County, and I'm sure, you know, over on the other side of the county line, there's a team over there really excited about playing Giles County. It should be an unbelievable atmosphere Friday night up in Lewisburg.
Motivation, shouldn't have to worry about anything at practice this week, I guess?
Not one bit. I think the game itself takes care of all that. Our job, and we told our kids, don't worry about any of that stuff. We won't have to coach effort. We hadn't coached effort one bit this week. Only thing we've coached is just try to get some schematics down and roll them out there to the game on Friday.
You see this in high school a lot. Teams will rematch in the postseason. How do you adjust? How do you change your game plan, if at all, compared to the first meeting, or does that kind of just depend on the circumstances?
It does. You know, a lot of times, you know, this deep into the season, there's going to be several injuries that'll affect the game differently. But, you know, I think Marshall County's been really lucky. They've gone through pretty much the entire year unscathed. I think they lost somebody, maybe game 1 or 2, but the guys that we played against in game 4 or game 5, they're still playing.
So injuries not really concerned. Cats have a couple nagging injuries, but sounds like the Cats for the large part are going to be pretty healthy when they roll into Lewisburg.
Yeah, we'll be in pretty good shape. We're worried a little bit about Peyton, a little bit about Big D-Mac, but, you know, at the end of the day, I think they'll be ready to go come Friday.
You go back, you watch the tape. Defensively, a lot of folks say that Marshall County, that's really, a lot of folks talk about the numbers they put up, but the defense is where they kind of win their ball games. How impressive is their defensive unit?
There's really no weakness on their defense. They have a complete 11. Actually, they probably got a complete 13 because they roll in some nickel packages and things of that. They have a really good football team, and I hadn't found, as we watched film, a bad tackler in the group.
So you go back and you watch that. What are you looking at to try and maybe get the Cats in some advantageous situations this Friday night?
Well, you know, hopefully we can move some personnel around here and there, play-by-play, and maybe even formations to try to get them out-leveraged. But even that's tough because, you know, Coach Cobb, their defensive coordinator over there, Coach Bedingfield, all those guys, they do a really good job of coaching their guys, and they've won a lot of games already. So, you know, there's not going to be many secrets when we line up to play come Friday. You know, we've seen 11 games of their film. They've seen 11 games of our film. You know, and we coach together for so long, we'll all know each other pretty well.
Yeah, the familiarity level is going to be pretty high coming this Friday. Let's talk now to Bobcat defense. They played maybe one of their best games of the season, especially the front 7 for the Bobcats. How critical is it for them to kind of repeat that performance?
Going to have a really good job up front this week. Hey, but just as importantly, we're going to have to play really good on the back end. That's one thing that Chattanooga Central didn't necessarily do really well, throw the football. Marshall County's going to be able to throw the football really well.
Secondary going to have to be on high alert, it sounds like.
We're definitely going to be on high alert. We put a lot of emphasis on it the first couple of days of practice this week. So, and I'm telling you, our guys feel like they're up to the challenge.
Had a couple miscues, a couple drops, a couple penalties. Have we short? And that was in the first meeting, I should say. How's this team progressed in that department heading into this Friday night in the rematch?
Well, hopefully they've all grown up a little bit. It's been 7 or 8 games now, and they all feel like that they're better football players. But not just that. Those kids that played the first half of the year, we told them after game 10, if you're a sophomore, you're a junior now. Mm-hmm. You're starting that second season. So the KJ Zieglers, the Knox Birdsongs, those young kids, they're a lot better right now.
And the confidence, I would imagine, has continued to grow in those kids as well as the season has gone on.
That's the confidence level right now is off the charts. The days of practice we've had so far has been really focused. Of course, you never know what happens come Friday.
Friday night, Cats also in the final couple segments here. Special teams, we talk about it a little bit here and there, but kickoff coverage was a massive issue in the game against Marshall County. How have we shored that area up heading into this matchup?
Well, we worked on making some adjustments. We're going to see how it comes out Friday. Coach Hickman studied the film of all their games. He's hopefully found a couple weaknesses that we can kick at and try to pin them back at least, to minimize their return yardage. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to go down and make some plays.
Finally, tough physical game like this, I imagine field position is going to be critical. Whoever can control that really has a leg up in this one.
Exactly right. And basically, who can take care of the football the best? We can't have turnovers in big games like this. Who can minimize penalties, because nothing will hurt you more than making a big run, a 15, 20-yard run, and that be called back for a holding or think you've got a big pass and get a big pass interference, whatever. Those penalties, if we can minimize those, and then we can tackle their backs, their athletes are so good in space. I think that's what their quarterback does. Bryce does a really good job of distributing the ball, getting the ball to the open people, and letting their playmakers make plays.
Bryce Wallace, quarterback for the Tigers. What have you seen on tape out of him over the last couple of weeks? How has he grown as the season has progressed?
He's become so efficient as a quarterback, and I tell you what, I was really impressed, and it was an incomplete pass, but last week against East Hamilton, they do a play action. He does a naked boot and rolls. He chunks that thing 57, 58 yards downfield. I thought that's pretty good arm strength on play action.
Two of the better teams, two of the better quarterbacks. Really no reason we shouldn't have a massive crowd. This is one of the premier games in the state this week.
I would think so. It'd be hard pressed within 50 miles of this area to find a better game.
Good deal. Well, Coach, as always, thank you for your time. Best luck. We know it's going to be a dog fight or a cat fight, I guess, if you will, on Friday night. Hoping that Bobcats come out victorious in this matchup.
Oh, I sure do. I'm really proud of our kids, and I can tell you right now, those guys are fighting their tails off for our community because they know that it's about Giles County pride against Marshall County pride.
It's going to be a fun one. Coach, best of luck.
Appreciate it, Wade. Always a pleasure.
That's all the time we've got. That will conclude our edition of the Coach's Corner Show presented by PES. For Bobcats head coach David O'Connor and for our producer Ricky Nelson, I'm Wayne Neely saying so long. Bobcats versus Tigers this Friday, round 2 of the TSSAA state playoffs.